Hello and welcome to this video on file and folder operations in Cyclone RPA Designer. This video is divided into two parts. First, we'll use a demo to introduce some core functionals in operating files and folders. Second, we'll have a brief introduction on some other nodes in the category. First, let's have a look at the demo. In this example, we will design a process that can extract the required information from certain files and keep an operation log in the meantime. This process follows three steps. Step 1. Read the required PDF files in the designated folder. The folder name should start with this string xyz_cr_inv. Step 2. Copy these files to another folder. Step 3. Extract two field values, invoice number and total items, from the PDF and write them in an Excel workbook as a result file. All three steps should be logged in a text file. In the PDF file, the invoice number is in a chart, and the total item data is in the right bottom corner of the page. We can get the data by using the Extract Text node in Designer. The whole process can be divided into three subflows. Let's have a detailed look at each of them. The first subflow initializes the whole process. This flow is going to check file status and take actions accordingly, whether to delete existing files or log the absence of critical files and terminate the process. Create four variables in the main process: target folder, log file, result file, and PDF folder. Set their initial values with respective file paths. These four variables will be used in subflows. In the initialization flow, create four parameters with the same name and set transfer direction as input. To log the timestamp of operation, we need a write to a text file node. In write content, we can use syntactic sugar expressions to write the current date in given format. Next, we can use determine if the folder exists node to check if the target folder exists, and use if node to decide the following operation. Check the Boolean variable, and if the folder doesn't exist, an entry should be added to the log file using write to a text file node, and the process should end. In similar ways, we should check the existence of PDF folder and the result file. Be sure to use determine whether the file exists node to check the result file. According to the automation requirement, if these objects exist, they should be deleted first to make sure that a new file or folder is created for the current process. The second subflow is to copy the PDF files to the PDF folder. We will first add three variables in parameter management to input these data. In the process, create a new PDF folder as a copy destination. Then, get all subfolders in the target folder, then output the data as an array. Next, iterate the array. We can rename the index and the element variable for clearer recognition. In the iteration, we'll first get the files in each subfolder. To do that, we need to get the whole path of the subfolder using joinPath node. The two elements to be joined are target folder path and the current subfolder name. Then, with the subfolder path in hand, we can get the files in it using getFiles or folders in directory node. After getting all the files in the folder, we should use another array iteration to check if these files have the name we're looking for. In the if condition, we're going to check if the first 10 characters of the file name is xyz_cr_inv, and secondly, the file extension is PDF in either uppercase or lowercase. If the file meets all these criteria, we should copy it into the PDF folder and add an entry in the log file. These two iterations combined can get us the required files for data extraction in the next subflow. The third subflow is to read the required data in each PDF file and write them in the Excel result file. Similarly, add these 4 parameters to input the data from the main flow. First, open the Excel result file and output the file data for modifications. Choose Create Automatically because the file doesn't in fact exist. Next, use Write Row and Column to add the header in the table. Get the files in PDF folder for the iteration. In the iteration, first extract the text as a string variable. Then, to get the invoice number, we need to split the string into 2 parts by invoice number. The splitting result is an array of 2 elements, and the second element begins with the invoice number. The invoice number is followed by a line break, so we can use split string by line break node to cut out the number. In a similar way, we can get the item quantity, which also requires 2 split string operations, one by text, another by line break. After getting the invoice number and the item quantity, we can write the data along with the file name into the result file. Be sure to save the file at the end of each iteration. Finally, close the Excel file and add an entry in the log file. In the main flow, we need to call all 3 subflows and configure the parameters in each subflow. We can run the process to see the result. This is the log file. This is the PDF folder containing all required files. This is the result file containing file names, invoice numbers, and item quantities. Next, let's have a look at some other nodes in file and folder operations. Open an external protocol node is equivalent to run command in Windows, which can be used to execute applications or other supported files. Create a text file will create a txt file in the specified directory. Get file size and get file property can return the detailed information of a specific file. When operations such as downloading and uploading fail, it is sometimes necessary to check the size or other properties of the file to help fix the issue. And that concludes this video on file and folder operations in Cyclone RPA Designer. Be sure to check other videos and our website for more information. Thanks for watching and see you next time.